Hello YouTube! It is time for me to read a letter to the editor from the Monday, March 5th edition of the Ogle County Life. Something must be done about all of these shootings. This is ad-lib. I already read it once, maybe twice, but I will commentate on it. Dear editor, recent political news has been pretty strange and scary, but not as strange and scary as the reaction from a distant relative of mine. Here's his take on the mass shootings. Hillary and ISIS have created these massacres so they can take away our munitions and then take over the country. Well, they just might. My first thought was, what on earth has he been reading? Certainly not any of the credible news sources listed by Mr. Jennings in the November 13th issue of the Ogle County Life. Well, I hope that didn't include CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Yeah. I repeated his statement. Oh, wait. It sounded as if he were talking about a third world dictatorship, not our venerable democracy. Please. It sounded as if he were talking about a third world dictatorship, not our venerable democracy. The former Secretary of State, complicit in mass murders, assisted by ISIS, our arch enemy? I don't know, maybe. I repeated his statement to a table of retired men at a fast food restaurant. Fast food, McDonald's, eat fast, die young. Their two-word response referred to something you might step in a cattle yard. BS. I had to agree. When I asked where they thought he had gotten his ideas, some of them said, the NRA. Incidentally, these men all identified as Republicans, never Trumpers. Several young women felt certain his information came from social media. New evidence indicates that social media was influenced by Russian attempts to swing the election, sow dissent, and undermine our democracy. Putin's men remember the power Russia had during the good old days of the Cold War when they terrorized the entire planet. I gotta say, the Russians did terrorize the entire planet, but guess what? So did the United States. I remember prior to the first Gulf War, prior to the second Gulf War, they said, nuke those countries until they're a sheet of glass. Yes, that's terrorizing the entire planet. Then there's that episode in Laos where they had the secret war. And who was it secret from? It was no secret from the Russians. The Russians knew we were in Laos. It was no secret to the Laotians. They knew the Americans were in Laos. It was no secret to the Vietnamese. They knew we were in Laos. It was no secret to the rest of the world. The rest of the world knew we were in Laos. The only people who did not know that the Americans were involved in Laos was the American people. As to the mass shootings, Most any nation has a few young men who slip through the cracks and become violent and dangerous. Unfortunately, we may have more than our share. The U.S. has 5% of the world's population and 31% of the mass shootings, according to CNN. Oh. The Wall Street Journal lists the United States as having 133 mass shootings between 2000 and 2014. Germany was second with 6 shootings. Okay, they probably got a point there. Only 11 states have laws prohibiting large capacity magazines and or assault weapons, according to Time magazine. Polls show... Whose polls? Polls show that most Americans agree with the need for guns for hunting and self-defense, but military-style weapons or guns equipped with bump stocks can kill many individuals before a single return shot can be fired. Oh well. You want to have a rebellion against the United States. I realize you can't shoot down an F-22. You can't shoot up a Paladin. You can't shoot up an Abrams. But you know what? Those people got to get out of them things sometime. And they do depend on like a massive infrastructure of supply personnel. And you could rely on them to bomb the entire United States so they don't have no tax base. That way they got to get out of them and fight by hand. You're going to need some assault weapons if you want to rebel against the United States government. I know it's a futile thing. You're going to lose 1,000 to 1. But, hey, our government's pretty corrupt. A classroom teacher armed with a handgun might just as well have a pea shooter. Oh, really? You get shot in the head with a pea shooter? I mean, you can continue firing. I mean, if he gets a really lucky shot in the eye, I mean, you might be stunned for a second, so somebody can pick up a garbage can and smash it over your head. Good luck with that. You get shot in the head with a 9mm or 45, you're going down. You're not going down after being shot by a pea shooter. Majority of people believe these weapons should not be in civilian hands, and certainly not in the hands of youth or the mentally ill. Well, no, they shouldn't. They should have locked that guy up down in Parkland or whatever. They had the goods on him. They knew about him for a year. The students were joking about him being the next mass shooter. The FBI knew he went to paramilitary training camps. Oh, and there were 4 cops sitting outside the door. They didn't go in when the bullets were flying. And that leader they had, his leadership was something else. A majority of people believe these weapons should not be in civilian hands, and certainly not in the hands of youth or the mentally ill. Most freedoms are not limitless, and that includes freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, and the freedom to bear arms. Yes, I agree. In the meantime, our money should be well spent on free, high-quality public education. Seriously, there's no such thing as free, high-quality public education. Homeschool your kids. Outside enrichment program, please. Counseling and psychiatric services for those at risk. Seriously, that's just another word for they're going to take away your child. They're going to dope them up on Thorazine or Ritalin or Adderall, whatever, and they're just going to say what a success it's been. Oh, by the way, what a success has it been doping up kids on all these things? Yeah, I wonder. Every child must feel some kind of success and self-worth. And every child must learn to be a responsible citizen. Well, parents should think about that before they make babies. People in power should think about that before they just give away hard-earned money from hard-working people to layabouts who want to make babies and then say, oh, I'm a father. I'm doing everything I can for my kid. Watch me go down to the barn get myself drunk and harass people that actually do work hard. Okay, let me start at the beginning of the paragraph. In the meantime, our money would be well spent on free, high-quality public education, outside enrichment programming, and counseling and psychological services for those at risk. Every child must feel some kind of success and self-worth, and every child must learn to be a responsible citizen. That includes giving up some individual freedom for the good of the society as a whole. Oh yeah, the good of society. Oh boy. Yeah, whenever they want you to give up everything for their benefit, they'll say it's for the good of society. That's it.